Okay guys, so 3 hours have passed and we've been turning the bread every 30 minutes. And here's my bread. You can see we've got, I can see some nice bubbles in there. So it's working, the yeast is working. You will need your proofing bowls or just a couple of bowls. Or one big bowl. It depends on what size of bread you want to make. And today I'm going to make 2 small loaves. So let's get started. So first thing that I'm going to do is take my gluten-free flour and I'm going to put a little bit into my banneton here. And just move the flour around so that it's not going to stick. So I'm just going to move it around and get it into all the little grooves here. Okay. All right, that should be good. And pour the excess flour into this other one. Whoops. Got a little spot there. And I recommend using just a little more flour than what you think you need, because we don't want to go through all of this work and then you can't get it out of the bowl. Not that that has ever happened to me. Anyway, so we got that one. And we'll do the same with this guy. So we'll put this, filling in all of the little grooves so it doesn't stick to the bowl. Hope you guys are enjoying this process. I guess that's what I like about cooking, is that in the end we get to eat. All right, okay, and then we're going to take a little bit of that flour and put it down on our surface. I just poured it here. This is a granite countertop. I'm sure it would work on many different non-stick surfaces, and I'm not putting a ton of the gluten-free flour here. I do recommend gluten-free. Like I said in the first video, if you're using regular flour, it's going to bulk up the dough. It's going to stick to it, and you don't want to bulk up your dough. So now we'll take our lovely dough. And I'm just kind of peeling it away from the bowl here. I'm just gonna knock it, let it fall down. Whoop, there we go. All right. Perfect. Now, there are some people that have said, to let it sit a little longer. I typically don't do that. Like I've said before, I like to do things the quick and easy way. To me, it turns out just as tasty. Maybe the other ways it turns out more beautiful. But I'm all about the yum. So the yum and the simple, right? I don't want to make it too complicated. Now I'm going to take a little more of this flour, again the gluten-free flour, and I'm just going to draw a little line with the flour, and that's where I'm going to cut this in half. So you want it to be about right in the center of your dough. Pour my excess flour back into the bag. here. Okay. And I'm going to take this guy. I do not know the name of this thing, but I bought this especially for the bread making. You'll see why in just a moment. So I just use this to cut. So now I've cut it into two fairly equal parts, and I just put the little, whatever this thing is called, my little thingy, my little gadget. So I'm gonna just put it underneath and plop it into my bowl. Simple, okay? There are other ways of doing this. Obviously, we're all different. We all have different ways, but this is the simple and easy way for me. So just pop it in there like that. There we have it. Now we have our two breads, and what I'm gonna do now is cover them up. Well, I'm gonna clean up my little mess here a little bit, right? Scrape that off. Okay. And we have our breads ready to go. These breads are going to sit for another 5 hours. That way we get a 12-hour rising time, which helps for the digestion, or helps our bodies to digest the bread. It's the fermentation process. I've heard that some breads go for 24 hours. I've done some where I put it in the refrigerator and I pull it out the next morning. There are so many different ways to do it. I'd love to know what you do as well. But this is the way I've made bread for the past five years or so. So, yeah. So we're going to cover these and set these guys aside. And we will get the oven all fired up and ready to go in 5 hours. So I will see you guys then. And hope you're enjoying this so far. So